I'm Torrey Smith from the Philadelphia Eagles, and you're watching CITV.
It's Thursday, April 5th, 2018. We're at the Plymouth Whitemarsh Varsity Softball Complex at the Victory Fields in Plymouth, Pennsylvania for Suburban One American Softball between the Wissahickon Trojans of Ambler and the Plymouth Whitemarsh Lady Colonials of Plymouth meeting. And believe it or not, the season is here. Finally, this is the first game for both teams this year after postponements and cancellations due to the wacky weather we've been having lately. Wissahickon in 2017 was 3-11 in Suburban One American, which was 6 out of 8. Plymouth Whitemarsh was 7-7 in the conference, that was 5th out of 8. The head coach is Wissahickon in his 4th season, Mike Borkowski, a Plymouth Whitemarsh alum. He is 10-32 in conference play. Head coach for PW, Dana Moyer, to her 8th season, 45-49 in Suburban One American. Interesting note, Mike Borkowski's daughter Alexa played for Plymouth Whitemarsh softball 2008-11 and had been involved in PW's first playoff victory back in 2009. Alexa Borkowski helped the Lady Colonials defeat Truman 7-4 in 9 innings on the road in the first round of district playoffs. She hit a 3-run home run at the top of the 9th. That so far is the lone playoff victory in PW softball history. We're going to have 7 innings of regulation. Wissahickon will bat in the top, PW in the bottom innings. Now the game can end earlier by run rules. I think in the 4th inning, if a team is leading by 15 or more, the game ends. And then after the 4th, 5th, 6th innings, the game would end if a team's leading by 10 runs. The Wissahickon last season had 105 runs scored. PW had allowed 87. Ground rules are still being explained here. This is the first regular season game for both teams. Wissahickon had to postpone the game against Ben Salem from March 27th to April 17th. The April 2nd non-league game for Wissahickon at Upper Merion had been canceled with no rescheduled date available yet. The April 3rd Suburban One American home game for Wissahickon against Quakertown has been rescheduled to April 9th. And the Lady Colonials in white and blue will take the field for the top of the first. Wissahickon will be in blue and gold. The Lady Colonials had canceled scrimmages at Glen and Mercy and Mafacton. PW's March 23rd non-league game against Upper Merion had been canceled. The April 2nd road game for PW at Norristown and April 3rd road game at Upper Moreland had been postponed. On the mound for Plymouth Whitemarsh will be Kayla Yeager to start the game. Last time these two teams faced each other was on May 2nd, 2017 here in Plymouth meeting. It was a crazy one. Wissahickon won 16-11. The Trojans had 8 runs at the top of the first, led 16-4 entering the bottom of the 6th. There were 2 away when PW in the bottom of the 6th then had 9 batters in a row reach base, 7 scored. No one else scored after that inning, and that's how we got the 16-11 final. Sarah Janelle was the winning pitcher. Haley Fink was the losing pitcher for PW. She lasted only 2/3 of the first inning. Michaela Coleman for Wissahickon reached base in all 5 of her plate appearances. She had 4 runs, 3 RBIs. In the first inning alone, she had 2 singles and 2 runs. Aaron Downey for Wissahickon was 4 of 5 with 3 runs. Zoe Trombor for the Trojans had 3 hits. PW's Cami Kaprinsky, who is going to be leading off for PW in the bottom of the first when we get there, went 3 for 4 with 1 walk and run. There'll be 2 PWHS umpires. Now the umpires are talking to Wissahickon head coach Mike Borkowski. Wissahickon hasn't been in the playoffs since, I believe, 2012, when it was the Suburban 1 American champion at 11-1 in the conference. PW missed the playoffs last season, made it in 2016. In this season's playoffs, there'll be 38 teams in District 1 6A, 20 qualify for district playoffs. The top 8 will get first round byes, and I believe 5 teams make it to states. District playoffs, I believe, begins May 21st. Circumstances permit. Not used to cold temperatures this time of the year, April 5th. It's around 40 Fahrenheit. Feels like it's 30 because of the wind chill factor. Kayla Yeager's on the mound. Now here's the first pitch, and the 2018 season is underway officially. No balls and 1 strike. In the top of the first. It's swung on to short. 1 away in the top of the first. And that's 1 away now for Aaron Downey. Aaron Downey now at the dish, facing Kayla Yeager. 1 out, top of the first. And that's in there for a called strike. 0-1 to count to Aaron Downey, who went 4 for 5 against the Lady Colonials May 2nd last year in the 16-11 win. The 0-1 swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes to Downey. On deck will be Macy Siegel for Wissahickon. So 1 out, top of the first. Wissahickon 0, PW yet to bat. Grounded to Yeager. Show for the first, and 2 up, 2 down. So 1 free on the putout. We'll bring up Macy Siegel for the Trojans. So 2 outs, top of the first. Wissahickon 0, PW 0. That is high 1-0. Head coach Mike Borkowski, he's in the third base coach's box. So 1-0 to Siegel. Then it's now 2-0. Suburban 1 American last year had been dominated by Hatboro, Horseshoe, and Quakertown. And that's a good one in there for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Top of the first. It's to Macy Siegel. Right-handed hitter. Yeager delivers. Grounded to third. This should be a clean inning. And it's 1-2-3. Go Wissahickon. And that's third to first. To retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, no 1 left after 1/2 inning. Wissahickon 0, Plymouth Whitemarsh coming in the back. And on this cold day, PW looking to start the season off on a good note. Dana Moyer, in her 8th season, has the following lineup. Batting first will be Cammie Kaprinski. Second will be center fielder Jen Bird. Batting third will be Peyton Baldwin. Left fielder Josie Tassoni is in the 4-hole. Batting 5th, catcher Gianna Fazio. Senior Lauren Furmeister batting 6th. And McCartney's the right fielder, scheduled to bat 7th. First base girl Allison Beausoleil batting 8th. Emily Caffrey batting 9th. for PW. They're facing Sarah Janelle, who had basically pitched every pitch last season. And she is so cold she couldn't even wear her uniform, which is why we can't even see her numbers. She's wearing a sweatshirt. Well, Janelle, the senior, will be facing the Lady Colonials. So it'll be Kaprinsky, Byrne, and Baldwin for the Lady Colonials in the bottom of the first. PW made the District 1 4A playoffs 2 years ago as the last team in lost to 10th seeded Downingtown West 3-0. Here's Cami Kaprinsky to start the bottom of the first for PW. 7 for 8 last season against the Trojans. Had 3 walks. Definitely saw the ball very well against Wissahickon in 2017. She is a sophomore. The wind is howling, picking up speed here in Plymouth Meeting. The Wissahickon had nothing across in the top of the first. Now Janelle delivers. A little high. Count believed to be 1-0 to Cami Kaprinsky. Shows bunt and will foul it back. 1-1 to count. Now you have the umpire behind the plate and the other umpire at first base side. Infielders drawn in, smelling a bunt. Low, 2-1. Janelle falling a little behind. The 2-1. Little high and outside. 3-1 to count the Cami Kaprinsky. Assistant coach Jen Hanold is in the first base coach's box for PW. Head coach Dana Moyer at the third base box. So 3-1 to Kaprinsky. Swung on, popped up, and it will be a diving catch by the right fielder. 1 away in the bottom of the first. So it's a fly out to right field, 1 away. Wissahickon 0, PW 0. Jen Byrne, the center fielder now. In the dirt, 1-0 to Byrne. Last season, PW scored 78 runs total. Wissahickon had allowed 189. Swung on and missed, 1-1. PW's last actual played game was May 16, 2017. PW lost at Quakertown 10-0. Quakertown wrapped up the Suburban 1 American title. Foul to the left side. 1-2 to count to Jen Byrne with Peyton Baldwin on deck. Wissahickon 0, PW 0. By the way, PW hasn't allowed 10-plus runs in back-to-back games since April 7th and 9th, 2015. We'll wait and see how that might progress. And that's going to be caught. Wow! One fielder couldn't catch it, and instead another does. 2 away. What a beauty by Siani Page Miller. Coming all the way from center field, it will be a pop to center. Bobbled ball as the game progresses. We'll have to see if any more spectacular plays like that will be made. 2 away, the bottom of the first, 0-0 for Baldwin. 1-0 to count. A different looking start than the last time these two teams faced each other. It was 8-0 Wissahickon heading to the bottom of the first. But it's colder and windier. There had been wind in that one as well. 2-0 to Byrne. Josie Tassoni is on deck. There's Janelle on the mound. We'll get her signs. And she'll deliver. weak grounder. And a 1-2-3 go to Lady Colonials. 1-3 on the putout. Both teams had 3 to the plate, and all have been retired. Where you have 1 full inning in the books, it's the Wissahickon Trojans 0, and my Whitemarsh Lady Colonials 0 as we head to the top of the second here in Plymouth meeting. 2 extra snow days has caused the 2017-18 Colonial School District school year to now end on Monday, June 18th and not Thursday, June 14th. Plymouth Whitemarsh graduation is still scheduled to take place Tuesday, June 12th at 6:30 p.m. with a rain date of Wednesday, June 13th. With the final week of the school year extended by 2 days, Monday, June 11th and Tuesday, June 12th will be full days for all students. And we've been having some wacky weather lately in last 40 to 50 days. 4 nor'easters. We had to use 2 extra snow days, which is always annoying. So after 1 inning, Wissahickon and PW, no one had safely crossed first base, and there had been a great catch made by Siani Page Miller in center field to rob a hit. Siani Page Miller will lead off the top of the second for Wissahickon. And she'll face Kayla Yeager. So both pitchers, 1-2-3 first. It's a little low, 1-0 to Paige Miller. So we're now in the top of the second of this not only conference opener, but regular season opener for both teams, thanks to postponements and cancellations. Low in the dirt, 2-0 to Siani Page Miller. All the Lady Colonials have red long sleeve shirts underneath, and that's going to be fouled to the left side. 2-1 to count to Siani Page Miller. Batting fourth for Wissahickon. So 2-1, no out, top of the second, no one on for Mike Borkowski's squad. Wissahickon's last game was May 17, 2017, 17-0 win at St. Basil. Fouled out. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, no one out, top of the second. Wissahickon 0, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. And the count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Siani Page Miller. For the Trojans. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Hesitant on the call had been an umpire, so it's going to be a single. The first base runner of the game for either team here in the top of the second for Siani Page Miller. That's swung on and fouled off. 0 balls and 1 strike. No one out in the top of the second with Siani Page Miller on first on the single that just got inside the left field line. That's fouled off. Dead ball. No balls and 2 strikes. I believe that's Emma Claiborne at the plate batting. A strike three called, and taking second will be Paige Miller. So strikeout and stolen base So first strikeout of the game for Kayla Yeager, one away in the top of the second, but now you have a runner in scoring position. It's now Caitlin Papanastasio. Papanastasio grounds it to third. Out at first will advance Paige Miller to third with two away. So two away here. In the top of the second, runner on third. For now, Ashley Laydell. So Paige Miller on third, Laydell at the plate, two away. In there for a called strike, 0-1 to Ashley Laydell. So 0-1 to Laydell, a sophomore. Swung on and missed, 0-2 to count with Laydell. Two outs, top of the second, Siani Paige Miller on third. And time is called. A windy day like this, make sure you secure all your belongings. So there's no score. Top of the second, runner on third with two strikes to Ashley Laydell. Stephanie Brown is on deck for Wissahickon. That's strike free, and the inning is over. Two strikeouts there for Kayla Yeager. No runs, one hit, no errors. One left on base, 1.5 innings gone by. Wissahickon 0, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. It's a good game so far here. Great pitching, great defense. Just one hit by Wissahickon. So for Plymouth Whitemarsh, entering the bottom of the second, Tassoni, Fazio, and Furmeister will be the ladies to step at the dish against Sarah Janelle. Suburban One Sports is the Suburban One League's premier high school sports authority, providing athletes and fans the latest sports news, scores, and photos. Visit Suburban One Sports online at www.suburban1sports.com. And now we go to the bottom of the second. The team in the field now is wearing blue and yellow. That will be Wissahickon. AW now going to bat. It's 0-0. We are now at the beginning of the 2018 spring season. This is our first broadcast of the spring. We originally had a broadcast scheduled for Wednesday, April 4th, 2018 on CITV. The game happened. It was Central Bucks South versus Plymouth Whitemarsh Boys Lacrosse, but due to field conditions, we were unable to bring it to you. We're sorry about that. Plymouth Whitemarsh lost to the Titans 12-7, making it the 8th straight game the Colonials had 9 goals or fewer. Now it's the bottom of the second. Jen Hanold and head coach Dana Moyer for PW will head back to their boxes. Josie Tassoni at the desk for PW against Sarah Janelle. And that's popped behind home plate out of play. 0-1 to Josie Tassoni. After her, Gianna Fazio. Lady Colonials hoping to be competitive in the Suburban One American this season. One strike, grounded, foul on the third base side. So 0-2 now to Josie Tassoni. And to those who observe, also happy Passover. Got less than 48 hours remaining to enjoy matzah. That's popped out of play. That's just behind home plate, actually, so still 2 strikes to Tassoni. Janelle, one of 2 pitchers on the Wissahickon roster. And Claiborne is the other one. Janelle handled basically all the duties last year. So just a little outside, so there's a ball, but still 2 strikes. To Josie Tassoni, it's Wissahickon 0, PW 0, bottom of the second. Tassoni leading off here at the PW softball complex at the Victory Fields in Plymouth Meeting. That's 2-2 now to Josie Tassoni. Plymouth Whitemarsh has not hosted a District 1 playoff game since 2008. The Colonials would like to start off the year on a positive note, though. High outside. After falling behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Gets back in it. It's now 3 balls, 2 strikes, and no one out. Bottom of the second for Josie Tassoni against Sarah Janelle. Low ball 4. And that's the first walk of the game. Issued by Janelle. And that's the first base runner for Plymouth Whitemarsh. A good start. Leadoff runner on first base to start off the bottom of the second. That's Janelle's first walk. Now for Gianna Fazio. Fazio loops it to right for a base hit. And that's the first hit of the game for Plymouth Whitemarsh with a single to right. So we have 2 on, no one out, bottom of the second. So runner on second and first. And it's a good RBI opportunity for Lauren Furmeister, I believe the lone senior on the varsity roster for PW. Janelle will dig. Furmeister shows bunt, and it's a wild pitch. Each runner will advance. So now we have runners on second and third, no one out. Furmeister showed bunt. Tassoni on third, Fazio on second. I think the bunt is now taken out of the equation. Low. So Janelle in trouble. No one out. Bottom of the second. Lady Colonials threatening with runners on second and third. It's 0-0. Wissahickon is in the field. Meister at the dish. Swung on, and that is a base hit up center field. 1 run scores, and it is Plymouth Whitemarsh 1, Wissahickon 0 on the RBI single by Lauren Furmeister, and there's still no one out. Fazio advances to third. It is 1-0 PW in the bottom of the second. No one out. Runners at the corners for Emma Carney. And it will be a stolen base here for Furmeister. She decided to go for it. So 1-0 to count to Carney. By the way, that run scored by Tassoni, the first Wissahickon had allowed since May 16, 2017, when it lost 12-9 against Springfield Monco in Ambler. Grounded to the left side, foul. So Plymouth Whitemarsh trying to get more across the plate, leading 1-0. Furmeister on the second. Fazio on third. Tassoni safely crossed home, and at the plate is Emma Carney. Allison Beausoleil is on deck for Plymouth Whitemarsh. The pitch. There's another strike. It was a really good pitch by Janelle, but not the pitch she wanted. Ground ball. Will throw to first, and that's going to get past her. Moyer's going to wave home. Furmeister. It's going to be 2 runs on an error. So scoring was Fazio and Furmeister. And now it's a judgment call, whether or not it will be just an error or a single. I'm not sure if any RBI would be credited, but advancing the second had been Carney. So here's Beausoleil, and she'll pop it out behind home plate, out of play. 0-1. I think there are still 0 outs in the bottom of the second. It's Plymouth Whitemarsh 3, Wissahickon 0. By the way, PW in each of its previous 8 meetings against the Trojans had 6 runs or more. Beausoleil fouls it to the left side, out of play, 0-2. She grounded it foul. So it looked like it was going to be an RBI ground out for Carney. So probably would have been an out, so probably an error. And that is a ball to Beausoleil. On deck is Emily Caffrey, and then the lineup will be turned over. Still no one out. Bottom of the second, 3-0 PW. Beausoleil digging in. Low, it gets away. Another wild pitch by Janelle. Actually, that was ball 4. Time is called between catcher and pitcher. So Beausoleil, I think, will advance the first. So Beausoleil on first, Carney on second. As it's a team conference for Wissahickon. And it should be Emily Caffrey, the designated player for PW. And I think there are still no outs in the bottom of the second. After Caffrey would be Cami Kaprinsky, who had a fly out to left field her first time up. Yeah, just a foul. Here's a bunt, a beauty. And it is in time. Sacrifice successful. To advance, Beausoleil to second and Carney to third. 1 out. Lineup now turned over for Kaprinsky. 0-1 with a fly out. But it is 3-0. Plymouth Whitemarsh. All 3 runs in this inning. Bottom of the second. Runners at second and third for Kaprinsky, the sophomore. A little low. 1 ball and 0 strikes. Wind picking up here in Plymouth meeting. That will drop in. Out is the call. And the runner is safe at home. So I think it's going to be an RBI ground out. Two away. Beausoleil advanced to third. It's 4-0 Plymouth Whitemarsh. Emma Carney with the run. So Kaprinsky with the ground out. And that's a pop-up for Jen Byrne, called by the shortstop, and that will retire the side. 8 Lady Colonials came to the plate. 4 safely crossed home, and after 2 innings, the Lady Colonials 4, Trojans 0. A great offensive inning for Plymouth Whitemarsh. 4-0 is the score in favor of PW. PW will go back and take the field. Stephanie Brown, I believe, will lead off for Wissahickon. Want to know how your spring sports team is doing in District 1? DistrictScores.com can help you out. Make sure to select spring and then your desired sport to find up-to-date records and rankings in each PIAA classification. In softball, PW is 6A. That's DistrictScores.com. So Stephanie Brown will lead off the top of the third for Wissahickon, which has just one hit so far. That was Siani Page Miller. So the Wissahickon coaches will go back to the respective boxes. Mike Borkowski, his fourth season for Wissahickon, the Plymouth Whitemarsh alum, will be in the third base box. Stephanie Brown will dig in at home. Gianna Fazio, the catcher for PW. Yeager back on the mound for Plymouth Whitemarsh. Top of the third. Wissahickon is down 4-0 for Brown at the dish. Yeager had 2 strikeouts in the top of the second. She had a 1-2-3 top of the first. We're not used to seeing softball games and win in winter coats, especially when we're in the spring season. The week before had been spring break. Mike Borkowski obviously sees something that he doesn't like. Mike Borkowski actually leaves the infield. He's looking for something. I think Macy Siegel is helping out. He's looking for a helmet. And the umpire takes the helmet from Mike Borkowski. Now we'll resume play. I'd like congratulations to Upper Dublin High School for winning its first girls basketball state championship, defeating Central Buck South 41-39. Upper Dublin was the District 1 ninth place team, defeating the District 1 runner-up. Upper Dublin is a Suburban 1 American. And that's in there for a called strike. 0-1 to count to Stephanie Brown. And that swung on and fouled off. It's a little outside. And that is in the dirt. Top of the third. And that swung on and fouled off. I'd like to say sorry for any roster confusions, because Wissahickon has a few players wearing sweatshirts over their uniforms. I might be mixing up some of the numbers, some of the names. Might have been saying some of the wrong players. And that's a good changeup for a called strike 3. Third strikeout for Yeager, 1 away. Now will be the 9th batter for Wissahickon. It'll be the second hitter of the top of the third. It's 4-0 Plymouth Whitemarsh. Yeager will deliver. That's low. This is uniform 30. That's listed as Sarah Janelle, meaning Emma Claiborne might be the pitcher. That's why I said sorry for any confusion. That swung on, and that's a base hit. And now we'll switch the lineup over. And that's a base hit, single. One away, top of the third. It's 4-0 Plymouth Whitemarsh. And there's a new runner on first base, a courtesy runner. You're allowed to swap out. Grounded to third. Drops the ball, but recovers for out number 2. So the courtesy runner will advance to second. So it's a ground out. Now here's Aaron Downey. Now I have the lineup correct. And it's usually you wouldn't see players wearing shirts over uniforms. And it is recovered. So 2 outs at the top of the third. And sorry for roster confusion. Not often do we see players not wear their actual uniforms due to being cold. But it's 4-0 PW, top of the third, 2 out. Grounded up the middle for a base hit. Orkowski's going to wave the runner home, and she is safe. Wissahickon gets on the board. On an RBI single from Aaron Downey, it's 4-1 Plymouth Whitemarsh with 2 outs at the top of the third. For Macy Siegel, who grounded out third to first, her first time up. So first run of the game for the Trojans. Yeager starting to lose some steam. And that's in there for a called strike, 0-1. And that is fouled off, 0-2 to Siegel. Siani Page Miller would be next. So 4-1 Plymouth Whitemarsh. PW has scored at least 6 ones against the Trojans in 8 straight meetings before this one. Oh, good curve, good change up, but a little bit high and outside. So there's a ball on Siegel with 2 outs at the top of the third, 1-1 across. It's 4-1 Lady Colonials, the home team here in the 2018 regular season opener for both teams. That'll be a base hit, left field, and we'll have runners on second and first now. So Downey on second and Siegel first with back-to-back singles. That's the third hit of the inning, the 4th for the Trojans. So runners on second and third. The tying run actually is at the plate, and Siani Page Miller, who's had a single her last time up in the top of the second, but was left at third base after a stolen base and advancement. Time is called for Siani Page Miller. Now we'll be at home base, and that is 2-3 on the put out to retire the side. So 1 run, 3 hits. Had a runner left, had a couple runners left. So after 2.5, Plymouth Whitemarsh 4, Wissahickon 1. Again, we're sorry for any roster confusion, because it's so cold outside. Few of the Trojans are not wearing the uniform, their uniforms, so that we could see it. I'm not sure if that's a PWHS violation per se. As long as both coaches have discussed that in advance, that should be fine. So PW will be batting in the bottom of the third now with a 4-1 advantage. According to my stat sheet, it should be Baldwin, Tassoni, and Fazio for the Lady Colonials. The CITV YouTube channel, your online video source for sports, concerts, educational highlights, and more from the students, faculty, and staff of the Colonial School District. Visit www.youtube.com and search Colonial Instructional Television. We keep adding new videos, so make sure to check the CITV YouTube channel. And the picture is back up. For the Trojans. So Jen Hannell, the assistant coach for PW, will make her way back to first. Dana Moyer back at third. This is Moyer's 8th season. She took over for Rich Server, who had retired. He's also a math teacher at PW. Dana Moyer in the Language Arts English department at PW. She has been in the playoffs just twice so far in her career, 2011. 2016 and 2011, PW was the 18th seed and lost at 15 Upper Darby in the first round. This is Caitlin Baldwin, who grounded out her first time up. We're now in the bottom of the third, 4-1 PW. Good strike on the corner there. It's 0-1. So leadoff batter here in the third. Lunges into center field for a base hit. So a clean single for Peyton Baldwin. And we have leadoff runner on in the third inning. It's Baldwin. Josie Tassoni now, who scored her last time up and got on base. So Tassoni on, Tassoni at the dish, and Baldwin on with no one out in the bottom of the third. Lady Colonials lead 4-1. And that will be bunted foul to the left side. Peyton Baldwin was running, so it looked like a hit and run, or bunt and run. Plymouth Whitemarsh not known for having long ball potential. Haven't hit a lot of home runs in the past 2 seasons. It's in the dirt, nearly hit Josie Tassoni. Gianna Fazio's on deck. The PW second straight inning with the leadoff runner on. Tassoni at the plate. Grounds it to third. Throw to second is in time, so that's a fielder's choice. One away. Baldwin erased that second on the fielder's choice. Shortstop to second. Or second to short. So one away in the bottom of the third. Tassoni is on first. At the dish is Fazio, 1 for 1 with a single and scored. And the dirt gets away, and that will advance Tassoni the second. So we've got runner in scoring position with 1 out in the bottom of the third. It's a 7-inning regulation game unless a team leads by a certain amount of runs for the run rule. Up the middle. That is out at first. But good eye there. Safe at third is Tassoni. So it's a ground out by Fazio. 2 away. Runner on third. Bottom of the third. Lady Colonials up 4-1. The bottom of the third. For Lauren Furmeister. Singled, stole a bag, and scored in the bottom of the second. So she's 1 for 1. It's outside, it gets away, and the run will score. 5-1 Plymouth Whitemarsh from the wild pitch. And it's Tassoni with her second run of the day. 5-1 Lady Colonials. They're just a 1 away from the 9th straight meeting against Wissahickon with 6 or more runs. Last time PW had fewer than 5 runs against Wissahickon, it was a couple years ago. It was April 30th, 2013. That's going to hit the ground, and that's going to be a infield single. Macy Siegel had some trouble getting onto it, so I think that's going to be a pop single for Firmeister. So she's on for the second time for Emma Carney. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. It's 5-1 Plymouth Whitemarsh. That'll be grounded foul. So 0-1. The Carney with 2 outs bottom of the third. 5-1 Lady Colonials over the Trojans of Wissahickon. Back on April 30th, 2013, Wissahickon won 18-2 with 16 runs in the bottom of the fourth. Donna Intentolo had a grand slam for the Trojans. Base hit up left field, and now Carney is on yet again. She reached on an error her last time up. This time a single. Firmeister to second. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. Bottom of the third for Allison Beausoleil, I believe, got on with a free pass. Had been awarded first base. Just she's 0 for 0. Popped up, and catcher won't be able to get it for Wissahickon. So 0-1 to Beausoleil, who did some pitching last year as well as a sophomore. So PW, if necessary, could always swap her out with Kayla Yeager. 0-1. Popped up. Foul to the left side, in the infield out of play. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the third. PW has 1 run this inning. It's 5-1 Lady Colonials over the Trojans in the season opener for both teams thanks to postponements and cancellations. Popped up. This should be caught, but it isn't. Catcher had a hard time seeing that. The wind did seem to factor into it. On a warmer day, it might have been judged differently. So, still 2 strikes on Allison Beausoleil with Emily Caffrey on deck with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. The pitch. A little high. It's a good catch. The catcher for Wissahickon. W's already scored on wild pitch. Runners at first and second. 2-strike pitch. In the dirt, and there's another wild pitch. So now runners at second and third with 2 outs at the bottom of the third. So Firmeister now at third, Carney at second, Beausoleil at the dish. Still 5-1 PW. A little bit too close for comfort. Beausoleil's been aggressive this plate appearance, has also been patient with certain pitches. Swing and a miss, struck her out. To retire the side, there was a run. There were a couple of hits. And there were a pair left on base. That is actually the first strikeout by a PW hitter in this game so far. We are through 3 innings. It is 5-1 Plymouth Whitemarsh, and we'll be back on CITV. Welcome back to softball on CITV. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. We head at the top of the fourth with Plymouth Whitemarsh leading 5-1 over the Wissahickon Trojans. Wissahickon none the first, won the second. No, actually none the first, none the second, 1 in the third. Plymouth Whitemarsh none the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third. Kayla Yeager back on the mound for Plymouth Whitemarsh. The Wissahickon hitter at the plate is 0 for 1 for strikeout. Following her will be Caitlin Papanastasiou and Ashley Raydell. Wissahickon last year was 3-11 in the conference. PW had been 7-7 in conference play. So Yeager gets her signs and delivers in the dirt. A lot of pitches in the dirt. 1-0 to count. No one out. Top of the fourth. Swung on a miss. 1-1. Good pitch by Kayla Yeager. When PW won its first and so far lone playoff game win back in 2009, the winning pitcher in that game had been Alicia Sable. And that's on the outside corner for the second strike. Actually, that was strike 3. Hold on, that's the second strike. That's going to be popped out of play past the fences on the first base side. So still 2 strikes. She thought she was out, but there were only 2 strikes. There was only 1 strike at the time. No one out, top of the fourth. High. So 2 strikes still. It's a little high. Caitlin Papanastasiou is on deck. Papanastasiou grounded out third to first, her last time up. A little high. That's ball 4. That's the first walk issued by Kayla Yeager. Leadoff runner on for Caitlin Papanastasiou, who grounded out third to first, her first time up. Leadoff runner on. PW is leading by 4 runs in the top of this fourth. Good pitch inside. No balls and 1 strike to Papanastasiou. So it's still a close game. PW hasn't won by 10 plus runs since May 19, 2016. Another good pitch, 0-2. PW that day beat Wissahickon 18-8 in the regular season finale, which was enough for the Lady Colonials to make the District 1 playoffs for the first time since 2011. So 2 strikes to Papanastasiou. That's grounded to short. That's 1. Can't get the other runner. So the lead runner is cut down. So fielder's choice, 1 away. Great defense by PW to get the lead runner. Brings up Ashley Raydell. Struck out her first and only time up. She's 0 for 1. In there for a called strike. 0-1 to Raydell. 1 out. Top of the fourth. Runner on first. 5-1 Lady Colonials. 20 District 1 6A teams make the playoffs. That's going to look like a passed ball there. So it was a strike and a passed ball, I believe. Papanastasiou advances to second on the missed pitch. Now a couple strikes, it looks like, to Raydell. Yeager has her signs and she'll deliver outside. And the sun is out. There are a lot of clouds, but not completely overcast. There's the pitch. Another good eye for Ashley Raydell. It's a tough pitch to take. Yeager having some control issues in the top of the fourth here. That's fouled off. barely. Mike Borkowski will walk around back and forth, clap his hands in the third base box. Probably knows Plymouth Whitemarsh better than any other team, considering he's a PW alum and his daughter played for PW in 2008-11. Yes, Mike Borkowski's daughter, Alexa Borkowski, played in 4 playoff games for PW. That's grounded the third just outside the chalk. Foul ball the third base side, so still 2-strike count to Raydell. 1 out. In the top of the 4th, PW 5, Wissahickon 1. And 1 out in the top of the 4th. That's in the dirt. Ball 4. Second walk issued by Yeager, so Papanastasiou stays put at second, but Raydell takes first. And she will take a free ride, and it will be Stephanie Brown getting her second plate appearance. She struck out her last time up. She's 0 for 1. So 1 down, so 1 out. Runners at first and second for Wissahickon in the top of the 4th. Bunt there, and pulled it back. PW had been ready for Papanastasiou and Raydell to make their move. Swung on and missed. Looked like it was too late to pull it back. So 0-2 to Brown, 1 out. Top of the 4th, runners at second and first. High 1-2. It is 5-1 Plymouth Whitemarsh. Wissahickon in the last 10 years has won this conference twice. That was back when Kate Siegler had been the Trojan star pitcher that swung on and missed, struck her out. Second time, Brown has gone down on the K. 2 away in the top of the 4th. Papanastasiou on second, Raydell on first. Looks like it's Janelle, if I have the roster correct. Last time singled, and it's 0-1. Her last plate appearance, she had a singled and had been taken out for a courtesy runner. The courtesy runner went on to score for the lone Trojan run that was in the top of the 3rd. So 2 out in the top of the 4th, with Papanastasiou on second and Raydell at first. Low 1-1. Wind still picking up here in Plymouth meeting. PW already had 3 games on the schedule that have not been played. That's fouled out of play, so 2 strikes to, I believe, Sarah Janelle, if I had the roster numbers correct. And the Wissahickon pitcher is on deck. Low. Good eye. So 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 4th. And that is going to be fouled off. Gianna Fazio will get it back. And throw to Yeager. It is April 5th, 2018, Saturday, April 7th, 2018. There might be snow in the forecast. It's been a wacky season, and she went, and that's strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Yeager to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, a pair left on base. 3.5 innings in the books. Wissahickon is down 5-1. The Lady Colonials up by 4 runs. Colonial School District is making a difference through the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Plymouth Elementary students are trying to raise $15,000 through for leukemia. Whitemarsh Elementary and Colonial Middle School are seeing how pocket change can add up through pennies for patients. And Whitemarsh Elementary kindergarten teacher Shayna Genkin plans on running in the 2018 Boston Marathon for the cause. April is a big month for raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the Colonial School District. Now on the bottom of the fourth, PW for 5-1 advantage will look to extend it. And keep in mind, on April 30th, 2013, PW had been tied 2-2, heading the bottom of the fourth, and Wissahickon sent 21 batters to the plate and played at 16 for an 18-2 4-inning run-roll win, in which Donna Intintolo had a grand slam, 6 RBIs. I think she went to, I believe, Central Florida, if I'm not mistaken. So now on the bottom of the fourth, it should be Emma Carney, Cami Kaprinsky, and Jen Byrne. Carney had a sac bunt her last time up. In case you're hearing crunching of papers, it's because the wind continues to howl here in Plymouth Meeting. There haven't been many balls hit into the outfield, the deep outfield, that's fouled back. 0-1 to Emma Caffrey. The CITV truck is behind the left field wall, left field fence. Swung on and missed, 0-2. And she might have thought that might have been strike three, but she was just smiling, getting instruction from head coach Dana Moyer. 0-2 to count to Emma Caffrey. Here's the pitch. And she swings and misses and struck her out. That's the second strikeout by this pitcher. Second in a row PW has gone down with a swing and a miss strikeout. It's one away in the bottom of the fourth. PW up 5-1 for Cami Kaprinsky. Fly out her first time up, then a RBI ground out her last time up. So 0 for 2 is Cami Kaprinsky. First time she's ever been out twice against Wissahickon in her career. Last season, she went 7 for 8 against the Trojans. So Kaprinsky looking to get on base with one down, the bottom of the fourth. Able to take that. Another ball to Cami Kaprinsky. Now on this April 5th, the Philadelphia Phillies home opener against the Miami Marlins, and also the Villanova NCAA Division I National Champions Parade. And that's ball 4. Kaprinsky will take her base. I think that's now her 4th career walk against the Trojans in her 3rd game against Wissahickon in her career. So we have 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 4th, 5-1 PW for Jen Byrne with 2 pop-ups. Her in her plate appearances. She's over 2. Kaprinsky has some speed, so watch out for her to potentially go on any pitch, and that's going to be missed on the bunt attempt. And I think she was going to go for second, Kaprinsky would. So 0-1 to Jen Byrne, 1 out, bottom of the 4th with Kaprinsky on first for Plymouth Whitemarsh wearing the white tops and blue pants. Bunted foul, goes behind home plate, 0-2 to Jen Byrne. Peyton Baldwin on deck. Baldwin is 1 for 2 on the day. Wind is still a factor here. Two-strike pitch, and that's popped up, foul. Hits the walkway out of play behind home plate, and then into the grass. So still 2 strikes on Jen Byrne. Plymouth Whitemarsh softball would like to get into the playoffs for the 2nd time in 3 years. Going on the pitch, throw to first, low, but we'll get it in time for the second out, so 1 free on the put out. 2 away, Kaprinski advances to second. For Baldwin, Peyton Baldwin grounded out her first time up, had a single her last time up. So 5-1 PW, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. In 2017, PW failed to put a teams-only sport into the district playoffs. That might have been a first for any season in the 21st century, possibly. PW would, of course, like to not make that a common occurrence. A good pitch, a little high, but inside, 0-1 to Peyton Baldwin. So PW, no runs in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, batting here in the 4th. Wissahickon, none the first, none the second, 1 in the third, none in the 4th. Swung on, popped up behind home plate, out of play. 2 strikes to count to Peyton Baldwin. Josie Tassoni would be on deck. 2 runs had been on both her plate appearances. That's popped up. Pitcher calls. And that is a pop up the first. To pop out to the pitcher to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Base runner left on base for 4 innings. Plymouth Whitemarsh 5. Wissahickon Trojans 1 as we head to the top of the 5th. The District 1 6A softball playoffs. Well, they're not here yet, but it's not too early to think about playoffs. There are 38 teams in District 1 6A softball. 20 will qualify for the district playoffs. The District 1 6A softball playoffs are scheduled to begin Monday, May 21st, 2018, if the circumstances permit. The top 8 teams in the district will get first-round byes, but only 5 teams will go to the state postseason. Plymouth Whitemarsh, just 1 playoff victory so far. That came in 2009 as a 17 seed at 16 Arias Truman in the opening round of districts, 7-4 in 9 innings. Wissahickon head coach Mike Borkowski's daughter Alexa Borkowski hit a 3-run home run in the top of the 9th for that game to help PW win. But before that 3-run homer in that top of the 9th, there were 2 outs. It actually started with 2 outs with Emily Cruz stealing home, and then a couple of batters got on, and then Borkowski caught that 3-run shot. But I think the pitcher is now up for Wissahickon to begin this top of the 5th. She'll be followed by Downey and Siegel. This player's 0 for 2 on the day. The wind is still picking up speed here in Plymouth meeting. Yeager's still on the mound. Swung on to center field, and that's going to go into the gap. She's going to go ahead into second with a stand-up double, the first extra base hit of the game for either team. And I got the leadoff runner in scoring position for Wissahickon. Wissahickon is down by 4, 5-1 PW. Lady Colonials in control. And it's now Erin Downey, 1 for 2. She singled her last time up. Low, 1-0 to Downey. In case you're wondering if any Wissahickon Trojans made it to the professional levels in sports, Wissahickon alum Tano Pasenio, who played basketball and football, is with the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's a base hit up the middle, and that's going to go into the gap. 1 run will score, and it's going to be another stand-up double, this time by Erin Downey. An RBI double will score the run. It's now 5-2 PW with no one out in the top of the 5th. Dana Moyer's going to come in just to make sure everything is fine with Yeager. Wondering if she is going to make a pitching change or just going to settle her down. and see if Gianna Fazio, the catcher, is also on the right page. It looks like it's just going to be a conference. So 5-2 now. With no one out in the top of the fifth, Wissahickon is threatening for more. Macy Siegel will be at the dish. So Kayla Yeager will remain in the circle. Back-to-back outfield hits to center field. Macy Siegel will try to keep this rally going for Wissahickon. She's 1 for 2. She grounded out to third her first time up, but she singled her last time up in the third. Pitch low is 1-0 to Macy Siegel. 4 years ago, Wissahickon didn't even have a win. 0-18. Been rebuilding the last couple of years. That's low. 2-0. Now this is head coach Mike Borkowski's 4th season. His first season they went 7-12. His second season 2-16. Last season 4-16. That's grounded to third. We'll look at the runner. We'll get it out. Beausoleil will be late on the throw. So ground out there for Siegel. But advancing the third is Aaron Downey with 1 away. And the top of the fifth for Siani Page Miller. Single, stolen base her first time up, but she had been left on third. And she grounded 2 to 3 on the put out her last time up. And that's popped up. That's going to be a tough one. And that's going to be dropped. Now that was a very tough play with the wind. It's now 5 to 3. And it's going to be Paige Miller getting the first. I would have to rule it a single because the wind made it tough. Not sure what the scorebooks are going to say, but it is 5 to 3, 2 runs across here, and that's going to be hit to left field, and that's going to split the gap. And this is going to be a 1-run game, folks. Third double of the inning for Wissahickon. An RBI double. And it's 3 runs across in the top of the fifth with 1 out. It's 5 to 4. Whoa, boy, this is a good one. Now it's the 6th spot. That's going to be tapped. They're going to throw to first. Safe! Infield single. Tying run now 90 feet away. The wind is not making matters easier for PW. Playing the outfield gap game now. 3 doubles in this top frame. Ashley Laydell now. Struck out and walked. She's 0 for 1. A hit here will tie this game. It's 5-4 Plymouth Whitemarsh. 3 runs across this top of the fifth. Swung on, pop foul behind home plate. So runners at the corners with 1 out. So Furmeister, I think. Lauren Furmeister, PW's third baseman, I think, is moving a little in to make sure that the tying run doesn't score. So 1 out, top of the fifth. Wissahickon is down by 1 run. It's 5 to 4 Plymouth Whitemarsh. Yeager pitches. Oh, good one in the corner for a strike to Ashley Raydell. Stephanie Brown should be on deck for Wissahickon. Struck out both times. Into the gap, base hit. This game is tied, and they could untie it. And the stop sign will be put there with the 4th double of the inning. And folks, it's a 4-run 5th for Wissahickon. Ashley Raydell with the RBI double. And that is the 4th run across the plate. It's now Stephanie Brown who could give the Trojans the lead as Raydell is on second. There's 1 out. 8th Trojan to come to plate. It's 5-5. That's going to be swung on and fouled. Definitely a much better frame from White Borkowski's squad. 4 doubles. It's a 4-1 5th. Fouled to the right side, hits the first base fence. And Beausoleil will scoop it up and throw it back in. Now for Kayla Hager, she's got to try to go for the strikeout. Stephanie Brown, the 1 to strikeouts. Both of her appearances have been Ks. She'll do it again for the 3rd time in this one. She has struck out the 2nd time by swinging. A huge 2nd out for Kayla Yeager. 2 away. And it's Sarah Janelle who has a single and a strikeout. Any out will help PW. It's 5-5. High. Good catch there by Fazio to prevent it from going to the backstop. It's 1-0 to Sarah Janelle. Two outs. Top of the 5th. Fouled up again. 1-1 to Sarah Janelle. I believe is a designated player. Win still a big issue. Wissahickon was down 5-1 entering this inning. That's going to be to the right side base hit, and for the first time in this game, Wissahickon is leading, and it is 6-5 Wissahickon. And it is safe at first. Janelle with the RBI single. So we have runners at the corners, courtesy runner in. And it is a 5-1 5th. It is 6-5 Wissahickon. PW led by 4 runs twice. And now the umpires are going to have a conference near home plate to see if anything needs to be reversed. Safe is the call. So RBI single for Janelle, and everyone has batted here in this top of the 5th. And the lady at the plate started this top of the 5th off with a double and scored. 4 doubles in this top of the 5th. And PW's worst nightmare is occurring. Kayla Yeager having trouble. That's low. Anyway, the last time Wissahickon won back-to-back games had been April 30th, 2015 and May 1st, 2015. Wissahickon, of course, before this game won 17-0 at St. Basil on May 17, 2017, and that swung on. And I think she might have thought that was strike-free. A lot of pitches have been thrown. So Yeager needs to limit the damage for Plymouth Whitemarsh sakes. That's low, good grab there by Fazio. When PW finally does come up to bat, should have Tassoni, Fazio, and Furmeister. That's the lineup to do it. Oh, good pitch in there. It's another strike. So that's 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 5th, runners on first and third. It's 6-5 Wissahickon. 5 runs have cost in this top half of the 5th for the Trojans. Grounded to Jaeger, she'll throw to first, and the damage is finally done, but the damage has been dealt. Ground out to the pitcher there. 10 plate appearances, and the number of hits been at least 6 hits in the inning. There have been many hits. A lot of 5 runs have crossed the plate, and it's now Wissahickon 6, Plymouth Whitemarsh 5, heading in the bottom of the 5th. So 4 doubles led the way, and the Trojans sent 10 to the plate in the top of the 5th. PW is now playing catch-up, down 1. It's 6-5. Heading to the bottom of the 5th. Plymouth Whitemarsh Sports this spring would like to do a lot better than last year when none of the spring sports teams made the district playoffs. This is PW softball's first game of the season, finally. Plymouth Whitemarsh baseball team entering April 5th, 2-1, 1-0 in Suburban 1 American. Had a 4-1 win against Upper Moreland on April 4th to open up PW's brand new baseball turf. It's a turf field. Plymouth Whitemarsh girls lacrosse 2-2. Allie Diamond, I think, has 171 career goals. The PW boys record 187 by Colin Joka, who graduated from PW 2011, went to Marist. So she's about 16 goals from matching that. And the PW boys lacrosse team 0-3, just the second time, I believe, in program history with a start like that. The last time the boys lacrosse team had been 0-3 was 2009. Started 1-5, but after that 6th game, went on an 11-game win streak, and the Colonials that season got their first District 1 boys lacrosse playoff appearance. So now the bottom of the 5th, PW is trailing 6-5 after opening up the top half of the frame, leading 5-1. It's a little outside, 1-0. Josie Tassoni's at the desk. Been a lengthy top of the 5th for 10 batters at the plate. 4 doubles for Wissahickon. So the 1-0, a little low, 2-0. Tassoni, she's been on base both times and has scored twice. So Tassoni is one of the Lady Colonials you need if you want to start a rally. There are 7 innings of regulation, so still plenty of time. Low, 3-0. That gets by the catcher. And still windy. Trees are swaying back and forth here at the Victory Field Softball Complex. 3-0. Good take, though. It's 3-1. Dana Moyer wanted her to take it. Jen handled first base, just looking. She's the PW assistant coach. Another good take, ball 4. It's the second time she's walked this game. So leadoff runner on for PW in the bottom of the 5th, down 6-5 to the Wissahickon Trojans. Wissahickon in the last 3 years had been 10-32. And that's a called strike, 0-1 now to Gianna Fazio. Singled and scored her first time up, grounded out her last time, so she's 1 for 2. In case you're wondering, Plymouth Whitemarsh boys basketball, which had been eliminated in the second round of the state tournament, Roman Catholic was the 6A state champ. And that's 2 strikes now to Gianna Fazio with Tassoni on first, Warren Furmeister on deck. It was a 5-run top of the 5th for Wissahickon. Fazio gets her stick on it, but pops up. So pop up to pop out to first for 1 away. Tassoni stays on first. It's now Warren Furmeister. singled, stole it back, and scored her first time up. She had a pop single her last time up, so she's 2 for 2, but was stranded at third. Grounded up the middle for a base hit. And that goes to the wickets of Paige Miller. Moyer's going to land her home. And PW ties the game up 6-6. That's going to be an error. That's going to be a single on Furmeister. She advances to third on the error. So Tassoni goes all the way from first. And it is now Plymouth Whitemarsh 6, Wissahickon 6. No shutdown inning here for the Trojans. And the lead runner is at third. Grounded foul to the third base side for Emma Carney. 1 out. Runner on third. 1 run across this inning. So that deficit didn't last for long. Carney has reached base both times and has a run. Popped foul behind home plate into the trees, the branches. And Tassoni will go back and retrieve it. Toji Tassoni is now on the bench after crossing home safely. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Grounded the first and will concede the run, an RBI ground out. And PW is back on top. 7-6 Lady Colonials with a 2-run bottom of the 5th. Now it's Allison Beausoleil with 2 outs. And no one on. So 2 runs across here for the Lady Colonials. 7-6. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul to the third base side. Moyer will get both hands on it. Beausoleil 0 for 1. She walked her first time up. Her last time up struck out. Was the first PW strikeout victim. Emily Caffrey's on deck. 7-6 Lady Colonials. A weak grounder to the pitcher. Throw the first in time to retire the side. So, 2 runs, 1 hit. There was an error and no one left through 5 innings. Plymouth Whitemarsh 7. Wissahickon 6 as we head to the top of the 6th. And I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. It's Thursday, April 5th. 2018. We're glad you're joining us here on Colonial Instructional Television. This is our first edition of CITV Sports in spring 2018. And we were supposed to do Central Bucks South versus Plymouth Whitemarsh Boys Lacrosse yesterday, April 4th, 2018, but field conditions would not permit us to do it. The game did happen, but for our sakes, we could not. The next edition of CITV Sports that we have scheduled would be baseball between Springfield, Montgomery County, and Plymouth Whitemarsh on Tuesday, April 10th, 2018. It'll be the first time we'll be doing a game from the new baseball turf. And this Plymouth Whitemarsh baseball team, head coach Chris Monero, thinks his team has what it takes to not only contend for the Suburban 1 American title, but also get far in the District 1 playoffs. PW has not won a baseball district playoff game since 2011. Hasn't been there since, I believe, 2014. So Kayla Yeager will be back on the mound for the Lady Colonials. PW had 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th after 5 from Wissahickon in the top half. So 7-6 Plymouth Whitemarsh, but the way Wissahickon has been hitting in the last inning, game not over. Now we go to the top of the 6th. It's Erin Downey. Downey 2 for 3, her last time up, RBI double. And she did score. 10 Trojans came to plate in the last frame. Popped up this time. Yeager has it, and it's a pop out to her, 1 away. In the top of the 6th, 7-6, Plymouth Whitemarsh. And it'll be Macy Siegel getting it. She grounded out her last time up. We want a free Trojans to get out in the top of the 5th. Yeager will deliver. A good pitch to the corner. 0-1 to Macy Siegel. Wissahickon has scored in 5 consecutive games dating back to last season. Plymouth Whitemarsh trying to build a streak now. PW was shut out in its previous game. That was May 16, 2017, 10-0 loss at Quakertown to end last season. This is the regular season opener for both teams because of the nasty weather we've been having. And that's a weak grounder. It's going to be a tough one, and that's going to be in time! Siegel thought she beat it out. And it's 2 up, 2 down in the top of the 6th for Siani Page Miller, who is 2 for 3, I think. She has reached base twice. She scored her last time up in that 5-1 fifth, and she'll loop it to center field for a base hit. And she'll only get one. She'll pull the brakes. That was a smart move by her, and she is on base for the 3rd time. So it's a single for Wissahickon. So the tying run is at first. Wissahickon last inning had quite a few doubles. 4 doubles. I believe we have a Claiborne here. Last time up. And I believe a double. That's in the dirt, and Paige Miller will take second. Siani Page Miller is the tying run. She's in scoring position now. She'll lace up her shoes. This is a really good game to start this 2018 softball season. Two outs here in the top of the 6th. Swung on and missed. Head coach Mike Borkowski calming her down, not yelling at her, telling her to stay in the moment. Siani Page Miller at second. 7-6 PW. And that's 2 strikes, and that's strike 3. The retire to side. That's the 2nd time she has struck out. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left, 5.5 innings. It's Plymouth Whitemarsh 7, Wissahickon 6, and in the bottom half of the 6th, the Lady Colonials would have Emily Caffrey, Cami Kaprinsky, Jennifer Byrne. PIAA District 1 organizes district playoffs for high schools in Bucks, Montgomery, Chester, and Delaware counties. For more information, visit PIAAD1.org. Also, Colonial Instructional Television airs on Channel 28 on both Comcast Cable and Verizon Fios in Plymouth Township, Whitemarsh Township, and Conshohocken Borough. You can even watch CITV videos online. For more information regarding CITV programming, visit colonialsd.org/community/CITV. Don't forget, CITV is now on YouTube. Make sure when you go to youtube.com, you search Colonial Instructional Television. So go to the bottom of the 6th, PW looking to extend its lead. PW can actually end the game in this 6th inning with 9 runs. Because now, if a team leads by 10 or more runs in this part of the game would end. So for Plymouth Whitemarsh, no runs in the 1st, 4 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, none in the 4th, 2 in the 5th for the 7. And Wissahickon, none in the 1st, none in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, none in the 4th, 5 in the 5th, and none in the 6th. Emily Caffrey now up. She has a sack bunt and struck out. Grounded foul to the first base side. And it's a kick stop by assistant coach Jen Hanold. When Dana Moyer started as the head coach for PW in 2011, the first base coach was her dad, Harold Moyer. There's the pitch. Another good pitch. Decided to take it, so no balls and 2 strikes to Emily Caffrey. He's looking to get on base for the first time. PW's going to need some extra runs here because this Wissahickon team not go away. Skips and avoids danger. It's 1-2. That low pitch. On deck, Cami Kaprinsky, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Guide out of play. It's the first base fan bleachers. I think fans would like to see that ball go that far, but in fair territory. Still 2 strikes. Low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no one out. Bottom of the 6th, 7-6, the Lady Colonials. Lead off batter is Emily Caffrey. A little bit inside. It's now 3 balls, 2 strikes, no one out in the bottom of the 6th. Papanastiu, Laydell, and Brown, I believe, will be batting in the top of the 7th for Wissahickon, which is down 7-6. Grounded to third. That's out of play. Just foul. So PW squaring up on it, but could not be in play. Whitemarsh has not had an extra base hit so far. Looking for its first extra base hit of the season, as it is the first game. Swung on and missed. Late. Struck her out. So Caffrey down on strikes for her second plate appearance. 1 away. In the bottom of the 6th, 7-6 PW for Cami Kaprinsky, who's 0 for 2 in the day, but she did walk her last time up. Last year, 7 for 8 with a couple walks against the Trojans. It's 1-0 to her, the sophomore. Jen Byrne on deck. Byrne is 0 for 3. So Dana Moyer's squad would like to bump up the advantage from 7-6 to something better. Rinsky will keep the bat on their shoulder. That's a good call. 2-0. Plymouth Whitemarsh has not hosted a District 1 playoff game since 2008. It was against Central Bucks East. Low 3-0. PW had a 3-0 lead heading to the top of the 7th. Errors and hits hurt the Lady Colonials as the Patriots came back, got 4 runs to the top of the 7th to beat the Lady Colonials here in Plymouth, meeting 4-3. That's a strike on the outside corner. Another ball would put Kaprinsky on first with a walk. Still a little wind. That's low, and that is not ball 4. Sorry if I got the count confused. There have been plenty of plate appearances today in which players thought they struck out, but there was only strike 2. Fouled to the right side. The first base gate's out of play. Still 2 strikes to Cami Kaprinsky with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. By the way, PW up 7-6. This is the 9th straight meeting against the Trojans. PW has 6 or more runs. It's incredible. It's a tapper in the air, and that is a good catch for out number 2. A good pop out. Good catch by Stephanie Brown. Jen Byrne now up. 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. PW clinging to a 7-6 advantage. High fly ball to the left side, out of play. It had the legs, but out of play. She kept it a couple more feet inside. That could have been the CITV truck, but that would be a run. So 0-1 to Jen Byrne, 0 for 3, but looking for something. High 1-1. One and one to Jen Byrne, popped out the center field, popped out the short, and 1 free ground out. Oh, she'll bunt to the pitcher. And she is safe. Bunt single for Jen Byrne. Decided to get fancy, and it paid off. So, could be a difference between 1-run lead and extending it. As Peyton Baldwin's at the dish, she's 1 for 3. Ground out, single, and a pop out. Baldwin takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike, going 1 to Peyton Baldwin. Josie Tassoni's on deck, should she get there. So PW started the inning with a strikeout and a pop out, and then a bunt single by Byrne. It's 7-6 Lady Colonials. She's going on the pitch. This is a dicey play. She's safe. Byrne is in there with a stolen bag. And now she's in scoring position. A single could get her home. Baldwin might be thinking more than just a single, the way that she just took that practice swing and looked at Dana Moyer. That is fouled straight in the air. It's going to be a tough play, and it is caught to the pitcher. So pop out to the pitcher to retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the top of the 7th. Plymouth Whitemarsh leads 7-6. Wissahickon needs at least 1 run to extend the game. Dana Moyer now talking to the home plate umpire. PWA officials do a great job. Not just officials, also have other jobs. I'd like to thank PWA officials for their hard work. So Kayla Yeager will be back in the circle. In the top of the 6th, Wissahickon did not plate anyone home. Actually, I'm sorry, the top of the 6th plated no one home. That's right. In the top of the 5th, plated 5 home last inning. Was unable to get one across. PW is looking to finish it off. 3 outs away from the first game of the season ending. This is the first Plymouth Whitemarsh varsity softball game in new PW Athletic Director Ralph Bretz's tenure. Charlie Forster had been the PW Athletic Director for the previous 35 years. He had retired this past summer. Charlie Forster had seen a lot. Ups and downs with the softball team. A couple of playoff games. The lone playoff win in 2009 at Truman. 7-4 in 9 innings. Now, Wissahickon needs 1 run to extend this game. Yeager trying to finish it out. Top of the 7th, final regulation inning. And it's 1-0. It's Caitlin Papanastasio. Has been on base a couple times. Oh, she misses that one. It's 1-1. Wissahickon faithful encouraging Papanastasio. Believe she is a freshman. Good take there. One swing could tie this up. Grounded up the short. And Beausoleil's able to take care of it. So ground out to short, 1 away. PW 2 outs away from win number 1. Ashley Raydell's up. She is 1 of 2. Struck out, walked, doubled her last time up, RBI double. A weak grounder to the pitcher, 2 away in the top of the 7th. 1 out to go, Stephanie Brown. That is if she's playing. Now, final batter, perhaps. 2 out, top of the 7th. Low, 1-0. So, Wissahickon needs to get on base and score 1 run before another out's made. PW trailed 6-5, and then in the bottom of the 5th was able to get 2 runs. Popped up! Furmeister has it! And that's the game! Game number 1 this season goes to Plymouth Whitemarsh by a score of 7-6. Lady Colonials led by as many as 4. Once gave up a 4-run lead and trailed by 1, but able to hang on as it's 1-0 for Plymouth Whitemarsh, 0-1 for Wissahickon. And that's an exciting start to the season. So again, Plymouth Whitemarsh 7, Wissahickon 6. That's another edition of CITV Sports. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. Make sure to check out the new CITV YouTube channel on youtube.com by searching Colonial Instructional Television. Thank you for watching.